welcome back to my channel. My name is Candace for those who are new here, and I am a revenue manager in the healthcare field, sharing my daily thoughts, processes, workflows, complaints about my role and everything that comes along with it. It has been a very, very long time since I have recorded, about a month. And I'm so optimistic. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to put out a video every single week, and I just haven't been able to do so. A lot of factors into that. For one, my space is just so limited. So getting comfortable with even recording at my desk in my room. Did some traveling, and while out of town, my grandmother actually passed away. So that took away some time, of course. And then here comes Thanksgiving and my mom coming into town. So took a break to, spend time with her for Thanksgiving. So it's just been a lot going on. And with work, it's been a lot. It's been tough this past month due to the workload. I really think it's because of the end of the year. Things are coming from the top down, and I'm just getting hit with these requests that are harder than I would have ever expected as far as what goes all into getting the queries and things like that. So I'm going to catch you guys all up today. And before I do that, I do want to give a huge shout out to, I'm just going to say T, because I don't know if she wants me to say her name on here, but it's so ironic because I was spending time getting my desk area together, and she sent me an email and she said, hey, just wanted to check on you because it's been a while that you've posted. And that just really warmed my heart, and the timing is impeccable. I can't believe that I received that email today, and I plan on recording today anyway. So thank you so much for your kind message, and I will definitely write you back. So with that said, let's go ahead and get our day started. Okay, can I get logged in? If I put the right password in, then we'll be all right. All righty. Uh-oh, you know what? Of course, Candace, of course. I think my battery, why? Why do these things happen? Why? Let's see if switching these batteries out is going to do anything. This is, oh my gosh, why? Okay, I don't think my battery's gonna last that long, but we'll see. I can't believe it's December already. Like this is insane. This year has flown by so fast. I wasn't ready for December to start at all. So, side note, if anybody remembers the issue that I had with my pen and it stopped working, the tip stopped working. So 2 weeks ago, my youngest daughter broke my pen. The replacement tip broke off inside. So I ended up getting a new pen. It was on sale for Black Friday, so that was great. And then I was smart this time and got a silicone pen. This is actually going to be my first time writing with this. I usually just tap around, play my games and things like that. So I don't know. Let's see. It's working so far. Oh, I don't know if I like it. Oh no. Oh no, that's going to be a problem. Oh, this isn't going to work. So with the Apple Pen, if you write something, you could double tap and it turns into an eraser. That's not. Maybe I could keep the tip on and take the cover off. That's not cute. Ugh. Okay, so that worked. This is ugly. I need to find an alternative. So it's December 5th and it's the first full week of the month. So what does that mean? Reports, reports, reports. There's an issue with validating data. So my boss often sends me requests and she wants me to pull my data and validate it against data from the hospital. I need to explain to her that that data is never going to match. Professional billing is completely different from hospital billing. For example, I think I've talked about this before. On the hospital side, you have a principal diagnosis. On the physician company side, you have a primary diagnosis. The professional billing claims might have diagnoses listed in a different order than what the hospital has. Should they be listed in the same order? Should the coding match one-to-one? Yes, you would think so, but the workflows between the hospital coding and professional billing coding are completely different, and those systems do not talk to each other. The way I look at it, the only thing that's going to match between professional billing and hospital billing are the patient's demographics and the notes in the chart. So even when I'm pulling OR cases, which, you know, that's the biggest issue that I have, is reporting on OR cases and pulling in information between the primary and secondary physician, whether the secondary physician is actually a co-surgeon on the case or an assistant surgeon on the case. Then you have residents. The way that those things are pulled in is very, very difficult. I can get the data, but extracting it and getting the information that she needs in the format that she wants is very difficult for me. I was so upset last week over the difficulty of these requests because while I like the challenge, this isn't what I signed up for. I am not a data analyst. I can get the data. I understand what the data means. I can tell you what everything is. If I get a big data dump, I can, do my research on individual accounts and things like that. But to dig down and pull all these different charts and just present the numbers in many different ways, I've not been trained to do that. Do I want to learn how to do that? Yes. Do I want to get better at Excel and know all the formulas and things like that? Yes, I do. However, that's not what I signed up for. When I applied for this role, I was not expecting to get into the weeds like this. When you think revenue manager, I'm managing the revenue, anything patient collections, from the billing, the coding, the pre-authorizations and things like that. So when I realized that this was an individual role and I have no direct reports, I'm like, okay. But in the description, when you see you're going to manage these different processes, that's not what I'm actually doing, because those processes are owned by somebody else. I have no say-so in how they do their work. If I could revamp the entire coding process, I would. I'm almost to the point now where it's like, let me take over the coding team, because their whole process and the way they communicate, it's not standardized enough for me. They try to standardize it, but it's not really working. And there are actually some revenue managers who have their own data analyst. That's what they do. And I told my boss, I said, with me doing all of these reports, I'm not able to pay attention to the denials, the write-offs, anything that we appeal, what we're actually getting paid for, looking at the different payer policies, Medicare rules and regulations. I'm not able to do that because all I'm doing is reports. She really needs a separate person to do that part of the job. And it's really weighing down on me because I will spend 5 hours on a report only to turn around and have to revalidate it because something didn't match up. So that's just one of the struggles I'm dealing with right now. But let's go ahead and get these reports out of the way. This is funny. This is really funny. Okay. Whew, out of breath. Never fails. This is why I can't post no dang old videos. I have attempted to record several times. They just turn out bad. This would typically just say, I give up recording today. But all positive vibes. There are some times when I've recorded and I've gotten so tongue twisted and I just couldn't get it together. I've had a couple of days like that. So I have a report request from my boss that says can you pull all volumes for moyamoya disease for both surgeries and clinic visits? I am not able to do that because I ran a report open for moyamoya disease, and that ICD-10 code is I67.5. When I run it all open for the entire network, the report times out. It's too large. I narrowed it down to my clinical area, and the report was still running, and I was afraid that it was going to time out. So I said, this is a report that I will have to request through Clarity. I will submit a ticket. But before that, I have all this list of questions that they ask. And she answered, but she said, who and why are they asking these questions? Well, this information is mandatory for the IT request. So I'm just going to let her know that. I'm going to send her a link to where this information is being asked, and then I'll submit that ticket. I can submit it now. The reason I bring this point up is because my boss does not understand the capacity that I have when it comes to what I can do and what I can't do as far as limitations with reports. I have been tasked with validating a report that shows how many patients with brain metastasis or LMD were admitted inpatient to the neurosurgery service in the last year and did not have surgery. So using the data from another analyst, we have the total patients admitted, total surgery patients, the percent of patients that have surgery, the percent of patients that did not have surgery. Then we have a percent of total patients admitted with a diagnosis of brain mets or brain mass. So I'm going to take these fields that he has, go from there. This is really, it's interesting because when I look at the data, I have 110 admissions, inpatient admissions with a brain mets diagnosis, but then I'm showing 116 surgeries. Why do I have 6 more surgery encounters than I do admissions? That does not make any sense. I'm trying to make sense of it, trying to compare. Something is not making sense. This is where I feel like I need to start over and go through the data again. I think I spent a full 8 hours on this already. And here I am in hour 2 into this already today. 3rd hour of working this same report. So what's happening is, because of the different fields and different definitions in Epic, the data is not matching. So for example, all the patients that were admitted with a brain mets diagnosis or brain mass diagnosis, I show 110. The total surgery of patients, I show 115. What's happening is the accounts that have an admitting diagnosis or a reason for visit diagnosis is getting captured. But when it should be pulling from the final diagnosis. Gosh, this does not make any sense. Wow, it's 1:16 and I have finally figured out why things are not meshing with the data. So we're looking at volumes for patients who were admitted, patients who were admitted with a brain mets diagnosis, patients that were admitted with a brain mets diagnosis that had surgery and that did not have surgery. So there's a couple of things going on here. We want procedures that are scheduled through OpTime in Epic, and they have an OR log ID. With that, there is a pre-op diagnosis listed in that OR log. In addition to that, on the account, you have your admission / reason for visit diagnosis, and then you have your final diagnoses. So what's happening is I have encounters that have the diagnosis listed in the OR log, but it's not listed in the admitting, reason for visit, or the final diagnosis section in Epic. I have some encounters where the diagnosis is listed in the OR log and the final diagnosis, but it's not included in the admitting / reason for visit diagnosis. So with all the variances, every single diagnosis is listed in the OR log, but they're not listed in the admitting / reason for visit or the final diagnoses. So what needs to happen is I need to go back to the analyst and say, can you please pull the diagnoses from the final diagnosis field in Epic? Now, that field, I've ran into some encounters where there are over 30 diagnoses listed. Now, you can only bill a certain amount on the claim on the hospital side, but in Epic, that's what's listed. So one, I hope that he can pull that field in Epic, and two, how long is it going to take if all of these encounters have multiple diagnoses? Because I need him to open it up to every single admission, not just my clinical area and not just those that have procedures. I need to account for everybody. So I can now summarize that data, let him know this is why you have more procedures than hospital admissions. You need to include this field in the hospital admissions. Then my numbers will definitely flip. So I'm getting ready to send that summary to him and see what he can do. And then maybe I'll be able to get on with my reports for the actual revenue management piece of my job. So yeah, and y'all, I think I'm doing something with my blue light glasses. They don't do anything, but they do. It does give a slight shade hue to tone down. And this will be perfect for the office because now I share an office with my peer. And as you know, if you've seen prior videos of when I was in the office, I like to work in the dark. And so if she has her desk light on and the office light on, it's too much. So maybe these will help, or maybe I'm just being extra. I don't know. But let's go ahead and get this summary on to my boss. So a couple of other things that have come my way. Then I received an email saying I received CRM number, blah, 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 from customer service. They said the professional billing bill was mailed to the patient. I have heard the initial CRM a couple of times. I do not know what that means. What is CRM? What am I supposed to do with this? Can you please explain to me what CRM is? What action item is needed? Then I can further assist. Man, this lady that sent me this email, do you know she spelled my name Candience? Candience. It is so crazy how people will jack up your name and it's on the email. I get Candace with an A lot. It's annoying, but if you easily typing, then that's an easy mistake. But this Candience, that's a new one. I've never seen that a day in my life. Oh, now my other first of the month reports have been updated. Gosh, Lee. You know what? I didn't even write a to-do list out. Now it's just more of this administrative work that I need to do to get the doctors the reports that they receive on a monthly basis. That's probably the most boring part of my job. I am just now eating today, and it is 4:40, and I heated up a Jimmy Dean's sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. I love these, by the way. Many days when I work from home, because I'm glued to my desk, I only go downstairs for coffee or a cup of ice. I'm addicted to ice. So back to the CRM, the customer relationship management. Why this was routed to me, I don't know. This seems like a registration issue. I searched throughout the entire chart to see maybe if there was an ID scanned in or anything that will actually identify the patient, but I can't find anything. Even the encounter notes has pulled the patient name in, and that's what it says. So I did reach out to the senior and asked how I could resolve this, because I'm not sure. There are a lot of things that have come up that it's a first time for me. Another one is the category 3 codes, the HCPCS codes. One of them is 0076T. And that's an add-on code to 0075T. Because it's not on the Medicare physician fee schedule, my system, Optum and Craneware, it doesn't show a price reimbursement. It doesn't show the work RVUs. There are none associated with that code. So I don't even know how to go about pricing it. Advice that I got from another revenue manager is just, well, we work with the coding team, the physicians, to come up with a price. So I sent that on to coding. I don't know what else to do. I don't know how physicians come up with the work RVUs and price. I'll be curious to see how that pans out. So I do have a couple of projects that I need to work on. So I need to do an audit for split shared visits. I'm pretty sure that I've talked about this before, but the physicians are misusing their APPs, APP Advanced Practice Practitioner. So you have your physician assistants, your nurse, and your nurse practitioner. I've seen encounters and hospital visits. So rounding, I'll see documentation from 2 APPs plus the physician. Why are all 3 of you going in there to see the patient? That's unnecessary work, unnecessary time. A physician assistant or nurse practitioner can document on their own. They can document on their own. They can bill on their own. They don't need a physician to go behind them and see the patient and do the documentation, unless the physician feels the need to, but it's not necessary. And seeing 3 different providers on one encounter, it's like, okay, who does the billing go under? What I do is I see who actually documented the medical necessity, and whoever did that, that's who I bill it out under. And I have another physician who does a lot of pain management, a lot of injections. And he sent me a list and said, can you please review and resubmit all of these? No, I cannot. There are limitations on how many injections a patient can have. They'll have limitations to where you may only be able to get a service 4 times a year. So there are some times where the physician will have the patient come in and get an injection and then turn around and come back maybe 1 week or 2 weeks later and get another injection. And those are not going to get paid. So I have to develop a guideline and tip sheet for that physician. And then I need to continue to work on a denial report, write-offs, the monthly financial report. That's that big file that I've talked about previously with 1,000 tabs and 1,000 formulas in it. And then we continue to have an issue with co-surgeries and how those are getting paid, which modifiers to use based on the payer and things like that. So that's what I have going on that's major right now. So as I noted earlier, I was able to finish comparing the data and validating the information as it relates to the brain mets patients who had surgery and who were admitted, and things like that. So all in all, that was a good project for me to dive into and see, okay, why is this way? Where is this field pulling from in Epic? How can I direct the analyst to give me the information that I need? It was just a lot. I worked on that today. Was it 4 or 5 hours? Might have been 4. That doesn't include all the information that I worked on last week. All right, so it's quitting time, as they would say. So I had a pretty productive day. I was able to get some things checked off of my to-do list and uncheck some flags on my email, so that's always good. When you see that number for follow-up dwindling down. As far as where I'm at with my job right now, I'm always questioning, you know, was this really the right job for me? Was I even really qualified to do this job? Because it is so different from the job description. Vastly different. It's just not what I've been expecting. I have maybe 2 or 3 good months and then 1 bad month. I do want to go back to being more consistent and putting out content so that hopefully you can gain something from the information that I'm sharing. I believe that I have written everyone back. I've reviewed some resumes for people. I've just answered questions. I would like to be a mentor. So if you want to develop that type of relationship where we are chatting back and forth, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help and answer any questions that I can. If you happen to email me and you did not get a response from me yet, please let me know, because I believe I am all caught up. So again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your support, and I can't wait to put out more and connect with you all. So thank you. And until next time, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.